there was a developed sort of humanity very, very early on. They lived side by side with the most primitive version of man, but they coexisted with the people who were of the modern type. And although these races were supposed to remain apart, they didn't. They mingled. And they produced a new kind of man that is kind of a mixture of the primitive, and modern features. And so on, with races continually mixing up till the present day, up to the present moment. And so race mixing is the story of man, not evolution.
If there was no evolution, how did the different types or races of man, if you will, appear on the planet?
By hybrid mixes. And that's how all the races came about, through mixings and crossbreeding. The high type, the advanced type, prominent nose, a prominent brow, well-formed chin, and good brain. They lived side by side with the most primitive type of man, the type that lived in the trees and sometimes scampered along on all fours. But there were mixings, and that's how the next type of race came about. And that's how all the races came about, through mixings and crossbreeding.
Right. Yeah, because I never bought into the story that someone could walk out of Africa and then over time the skin tone changes, the facial features, and the structure of the hair changes. I never really bought into that.
Yeah, and that's what we're taught, and that's what textbooks say, but it's false, and we need to understand what the true history is. It wouldn't hurt paleontology to adopt the hybrid model, because then they could go back to work and figure out which races mixed with which other races, and they could still do their things and their charts and their textbooks and their lectures.
Right.
It just is a matter of dumping Darwin, which is the only 19th century theory we still embrace. Everything else we've surpassed.
And why do you think that that's holding on so steadily?
I know why. Because Darwin fits in with the secular paradigm.
Now, I would like to touch on a little bit about the idea of out of Africa.
Out of Africa, the African Garden of Eden has become a strict part of the Darwinian paradigm. This is where the professors and experts tell us that all mankind came from Africa. I don't believe this is true. This is only about 25 years ago that the African Garden of Eden, the African Eve, became popular and became a fixed idea in Darwinian evolutionism. But it's not true. And as you say, it would be impossible for the African to migrate out and go to Sweden and turn white, to go to China and turn yellow. Those are fairy tales that they're still teaching in school.
Right. And as you say, the bottom line is that the only thing that can make a change to someone's innate nature, the physicality of skin color, eye color, hair texture, body type, is mixing.